The Patron Saint of MS, yes, you heard that right, it's a curious title, isn't it? But let's dive into the story behind it. All right, let's rewind the clock, we're talking way back in time. Way back, like 14th century back. Picture a world of cobblestone streets, horse-drawn carriages and bustling medieval markets. We meet Saint Lidwina of Schiedam, the patron saint of ice skaters. A pious lady known for her deep faith and resilience. Also possibly one of the earliest recorded cases of MS coincidence, you decide. Her life took a dramatic turn after a severe fall while ice skating. See, Lidwina had a nasty habit of, well, falling a lot. This wasn't just clumsiness, it was something more. Weakness in the legs, they called it. Her condition progressively worsened, leading to paralysis. Vision problems, overheating, the whole shebang. Sounds familiar? These symptoms are strikingly similar to what we now know as multiple sclerosis. It's like the universe was giving us a giant, ice-cold hint about the snowflake disease. Her story is a poignant reminder of how far medical understanding has come. But hey, who needs modern medicine when you've got divine intervention, right? Her faith was her solace and strength. Except maybe Lidwina would have preferred a neurologist. Just saying. Her story bridges the gap between faith and the need for medical advancements. Fast forward a few centuries, we meet Prince Augustus d'Este, illegitimate grandson of King George III. Talk about a family tree needing a trim. Augustus, bless his royal heart, kept meticulous diaries, and guess what? Those diaries read like an MS symptom checklist. Numbness? Check. Fatigue? Check. Trouble walking? Check, check, check. It's like the royal equivalent of a live, laugh Mississippi bumper sticker. Augustus, my friend, we feel your pain, literally. Now enter the 19th century, stage left, Jean-Martin Charcot, the rock star of neurology. Picture the bustling streets of Paris, the air thick with the scent of fresh baguettes and the sound of horse-drawn carriages clattering over cobblestones. Seriously, this guy was to neurology what Mick Jagger is to hip thrusting. Charcot's lectures were the hottest ticket in town, drawing crowds like a modern-day rock concert. Charcot coined the term sclérose en plaques, which, let's be honest, sounds way cooler in French. His work laid the foundation for our understanding of multiple sclerosis today. But here's the kicker. Charcot was known for his, shall we say, unconventional teaching methods. Imagine a classroom without walls where the city itself became a living laboratory. He used patients as living, breathing demonstrations. These public displays were part medical lecture, part theatrical performance. And one patient, Blanche, held a special place in his lectures. She was more than just a case study. She was a central figure in his demonstrations. Let's just say their relationship was more than just doctor-patient. Awkward, definitely. Historically accurate, sadly, yes. Their interactions were the talk of the town, raising eyebrows and questions. Oh! And did I mention young Sigmund Freud was in the audience, taking notes? Yes, the future father of psychoanalysis was there, absorbing every detail. Talk about an origin story. This was the crucible where modern neurology and psychoanalysis were forged, a moment in history that would ripple through time. Section 4. Neurological nonsense and the gaps in our knowledge. Meanwhile, another scientific hero, Louis Ranvier, was busy discovering tiny gaps in the myelin sheath, the protective coating of our nerves. Think of it like the insulation on an electrical wire, except in MS, that insulation gets all frayed and messed up, causing all sorts of neurological nonsense. These gaps, my friends, are called the nodes of Ranvier. Catchy, right? It's enough to make you want to write a song about it. Don't worry, I'm already working on it. Section 5. Feeling the heat, literally, and other shocking symptoms. Now, let's talk about the symptoms. Oh, the symptoms. First up, Uthoff's phenomenon. Ever feel like you're melting from the inside out after a hot shower? That's Uthoff's, baby. Heat sensitivity is a real thing in MS, and it's not pretty. Then there's Lermitte's sign. Bend your neck and bam, electric shock down your spine. It's like your nervous system is playing a cruel, twisted game of operation. Section 6, From Saints to Scans, the evolution of diagnosing a snowflake. Diagnosing MS used to be a guessing game. In the early days, medical knowledge was limited and doctors had to rely heavily on their intuition and the patient's descriptions of their symptoms. Doctors would poke, prod, and rely on the patient's subjective experience. They used rudimentary tools and methods that were often more art than science, not exactly the most scientific approach. Misdiagnoses were common and treatments were often ineffective or even harmful. But hey, at least they weren't using leeches, right? Well, sometimes they were. The history of medicine is filled with bizarre and often gruesome practices. Thankfully, we've come a long way, baby. Modern medicine has revolutionized the way we diagnose and treat diseases. Enter the MRI, the superhero of neurological imaging. This technology has transformed the field of neurology. This magnificent machine can actually see the lesions in your brain and spinal cord, confirming or denying your worst fears. It provides a clear and detailed picture of what's happening inside your body. No more relying on saints or royal diaries. The MRI has brought a level of precision and reliability that was unimaginable just a few decades ago. So there you have it, MS, the snowflake disease. Each case is unique, just like a snowflake, with its own pattern and progression. It's complicated, it's unpredictable, and it affects everyone differently. But with modern diagnostic tools, we are better equipped than ever to understand and manage this complex condition.